right, Shalom. As always, I'm thankful and I'm grateful to be able to come out here to preach and to prophesy unto my people, being you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. And according to the Holy Bible, you are the biblical Israelites. This is based off of your father's genetic line. It's about paternal and agnet relations, in which determines whether or not you are of Jacob. This is not a so-called black or white thing. Mingling those two shades together, you get gray, and there are no gray areas when it comes to this ministry whatsoever. All right? Let me, yeah, I'll just leave it here actually. And seeing that our people look like all people under the sun, our people are hidden behind many faces, I have to come out here in the open, in broad places, because our people are everywhere. And I also have to let these nations know their future and their judgment as well. And before I get started, I have to give all thanks and praises unto our power, the power of Israel, not the power of any other nation. And seeing that I don't come in my own name, what is his name? Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Warakakwadash. Peace, blessings, and much respect to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, on down to the rest of the elders who rule well within Israel. Salutations to the hopeful elect throughout the four corners of this whole entire earth, no matter where, whom they may be, or what they may look like, pushing out this purified truth to the rest of the church who believe as well. You men who may not be teachers or prophets, you women, sons, and daughters also. The water to Yahweh Shai, because without him enduring and going to that cross for the nation of Israel and the nation of Israel alone, none of this would even be possible whatsoever. Ezekiel chapter 9 and verse 4. And the Lord said unto him, go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and that cry, for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof. So the elect are constantly sighing and crying. The elect understand that what we see before our eyes in our everyday life, you can get on social media, you can go to work, you can go to the grocery store, you could just be standing outside. Okay, you totally understand that the vibration of this world is negative. The vibration of this world is wicked. As beautiful as the sky may be, as green as the grass may be, we are in a very, very evil time. And we sigh and we cry because we don't like this, man. We complain continually because we are in the spirit of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Everyone's not going to complain. Everyone is not going to be offended with what they see before them. Women ruling over men, sodomites walking around freely. Okay, you have some man who's supposed to be, standing up for something, sitting down on something. You know what I mean? And the Lord said unto him, go through the midst of the city, speaking of the midst of you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and that cry, for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof. So we're constantly complaining, groaning. We're constantly in the spirit of lamenting. But we don't show it. We don't just walk around with our head down. We don't just walk around, with our lip poked out, as the saying used to be back in the day. But nevertheless, we complain, bringing out these lessons. We complain within our minds. But when we go to our jobs, if you own a business or whatever you do, you still handle your matters. You still do what you have to do. Now, we don't necessarily agree with this world, but we have to wake up with the mentality of keeping our faith and kicking ass, man, because every day is a battle. and seeing that we're in a battle, our mentality should be kicking ass, man. Because we have a lot fighting against us, but we have a lot more behind us backing us up than what we know. And as much as we have to deal with the wickedness of this world, we're not going to be dealing with this forever. Not too much longer. And to the others he said in mine hearing, go ye after him through the city, and smite. Let not your eyes spare, neither have ye pity. So there are a lot of Israelites who aren't sighing and crying. Those are the Israelites that are going to be destroyed. Those are the Israelites who are not in the proper spirit. Verse 6. Slay utterly, old and young. The Most High don't care if it's an old man or a woman, or an infant baby, or a teenager. If they don't have the mark, if they don't have that sign that shows they're exempt of judgment, then guess what? When death comes, death is going to overtake them. Slay utterly old and young, both maids and little children. What are maids? Maids are females. Okay? And little children and women. But come not near any man upon whom is the mark. And begin at my sanctuary. Then they begun at the ancient men which were before the house. So guess what? If you don't have the mark of exemption, if Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai doesn't show favor upon us, then we're going to be left out here to be destroyed. But the beautiful thing is we should have hope that we're not going to be. That's why we are, keeping our faith, keeping our integrity, doing our best to walk this straight path, this straight and narrow path, which is a path that most people would not be able to, succeed. Let's go to Habakkuk. Habakkuk chapter 1 and verse 1. The burden which Habakkuk the prophet did see. O Lord, how long shall I cry, and thou wilt not hear? Even cry out unto thee of violence, and thou wilt not save. So Habakkuk, being in the spirit, we're in that spirit sometimes. Like we're seeing all this injustice among us, all this evil's happening among us, and we understand, yeah, we're at the end, but sometimes it's just unbearable. Sometimes it's insufferable to have to deal with some of the things that we go through, or some of the things that we have to lock eyes on or hear of being in this society. So seeing that the elect are going to sigh and cry, the elect are going to moan and groan, be in the spirit of complaining against all the evil that's happening in this world, shows that those who are in the spirit of operating and joy as if this is your home, we have a joy that's given to us from Yahweh Shai. But this world has a joy that wants to see this world, in terms of Esau's rulership, remain established. Our people, for the most part, they're not offended at the wicked who are in power. Well, the elect are offended. When we come out here, we sigh and we cry. We sigh and we cry when we pray to the Lord in our day-to-day life. And we understand that there is a difference between those who complain about the wickedness and those who are trying to make it in this world. Those who are not focused on Yahweh and Yahweh Shai. There is a difference. O Lord, how long shall I cry, and thou wilt not hear? Even cry out unto thee of violence, and thou wilt not save. So seeing that the elect sigh and cry and complain, you get tired of sighing and crying and complaining. You get to a point where you want to see things happen. And things are going to happen very soon. The Lord is going to give us our heart's desires. All right? But complaining is just part of, being in this ministry. 2nd Ezra chapter 15 and verse 8. I will hold my tongue no more as touching their wickedness. So Habakkuk being in the spirit of asking the Lord, how long am I going to cry unto you? Cry unto you of violence, injustice, things that ain't right, and it's like nothing's being done. Well, now we're coming to a point through our complaining, the Lord is not going to keep allowing these things to happen. I will hold my tongue no more as touching their wickedness, which they profanely commit. Neither will I suffer them in those things in which they wickedly exercise themselves. Behold, the innocent and righteous blood cried unto me, and the souls of the just complain continually. You should get tired of paying taxes. You should get tired of having to wait for your paycheck. And then when you get it, Esau's already, dabbed in your funds. And then once you get your money and you make purchases, you're getting taxed again. Okay? You're constantly, being oppressed. You're constantly being shown that this is not your rest. But the problem with the majority of you Israelites, you're not in the spirit of sighing and crying. You're not in the spirit of complaining about the wickedness of Esau. In your mind, I'm not the type to complain about the white man. I'm not the type to complain about this. I'm the type to figure it out. The Lord is going to kill a lot of you Israelites because you're proud. Do you not understand that the Lord actually put us in this position for punishment? So for you to not complain about being punished is almost like snuffing your nose to the Lord, like this is nothing. I can handle this. Nah, man. As a parent, if you were to punish your child and they're taking it lightly, they're not complaining, they're not mad about it, they acting as if, shit, I could do this another 10 years. You done took that from me. Shoot, I ain't complaining. I mean, if you want to keep it up for another 10 years, I'm cool with that. Nah, man. The elect are sighing and crying because we understand we are in punishment and we're not in a proud spirit. We want to get out of here. We don't want to be continual servants and slaves. We don't want to be continually, suffering this wickedness here. Because that's all you see here. I will hold my tongue no more as touching their wickedness, which they profanely commit. Neither will I suffer them in those things in which they wickedly exercise themselves. Behold, the innocent and righteous blood crieth unto me, and the souls of the just complain continually. So we're in the spirit of complaining. That's why we're out here bringing down Babylon through the words of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. The words of the Lord are bringing the end. All right? Romans chapter 7. And 24. O wretched man that I am, who shall deliver me from the body of this death? Men are looking forward to being changed because being in these bodies, you're constantly going through afflictions, turmoils. You're constantly being chastised. So in your right mind, you will say, you know what? I want something better because it's promised to me. I'm promised everlasting life. I'm promised a kingdom. I'm promised all of my heart's desires. And then you're doing the best you can to fight to receive those things, but you're put in a scenario where everything around you is trying to hinder you from that. It's a very difficult task. This path we walk is not easy. Okay? But we constantly have to go through troubles in the flesh. That's why Paul said he's a wretched man. Because you can go through so much being in this flesh. And it's also a reminder that we got to remain humble. We're just men. We're just mortals. I thank God through Yahweh Shah Mashiach, our Lord. So then, with the mind, I myself serve the law of the power. But with the flesh, the law of sin. So we're miserable in this flesh. And we have to be changed. That's why we cry and complain. Because we're actually, in the spirit of the righteous. The righteous are going to complain. The righteous are in their right mind. But the majority of Israelites are not. So let's go back to Habakkuk. See if I can find this scripture. Habakkuk chapter 1 and verse 9. They shall come all for violence. Their faces shall sup up at the east wind, and they shall gather the captivity as the land. Verse 12. Art thou not from everlasting, O Lord my God, mine Holy One? We shall not die, O Lord Yahweh. Thou hast ordained them for judgment, O mighty power. Thou hast established them for correction. So Esau has been established for correction. Esau is oppressing us because the Lord is using Esau to punish us. And the issue is a lot of you Israelites, you're not complaining. You're not angry. You just accept it. You try to figure out ways to remain comfortable in your captivity. You try to figure out ways to make your punishment not as hurtful. Just like when niggas go to prison, they do everything in their power to make their bed easy. Okay? To where a lot of these niggas, they'll get an opportunity to get back out here, and then what happens? They go right back in. Because Jake is fine with being in captivity. Jake is fine with, things that, even if it's not for your advantage, it's not for your benefit. A lot of you Israelites, what you'll do is you'll find ways to be comfortable in your discomfort. You go to a lot of hoods and ghettos, in urban environments, so to speak, and you're going to see, a beat up house, but in front of the house, you got a 2023 on some 24-inch rims. Okay, but when you walk in the house, there's holes in the wall. You got roaches. Your cabinet is barely full of food, but you got a nice ass car in your driveway, right? You got you a fine ass woman. So with the little bit that you have, you like, shit, I'm good. That's the mentality of you Israelites. You love settling. You don't want what's promised to you. Okay? Second Samuel. Chapter 7 and verse 10. Moreover, I will appoint a place for my people, Israel. We have our homeland, and we're going back to our homeland soon. And I will plant them that they may dwell in a place of their own, and move no more. Neither shall the children of wickedness afflict them any more as before time. So we're going to be, set free from our punishment. Because Esau, he was established for correction. The reason why our people are oppressed under Esau and we get treated the way that we do is because the Lord is using Esau to punish us. It tells you in the Bible that the wicked is the Heavenly Father's sword. So what he's doing is he's using Esau, okay, and these other heathen, The Lord can use various things, animals, car wrecks. He has different things that he sets up for judgment. But speaking on Esau in particular, he was established to chastise our people. And instead of our people sighing and crying and complaining like they should, they're more in the spirit of acceptance and acting as if these things aren't happening. Moreover, I will appoint a place for my people Israel and will plant them, that they may dwell in a place of their own. So America is not our own place. We were brought here to serve punishment. And will plant them that they may dwell in a place of their own, and move no more. Neither shall the children of wickedness afflict them any more as before time. And the children of wickedness is going into Esau, Edom. Malachi chapter 1 and verse 4. Whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down, and they shall call them the border of wickedness, and the people against whom the Lord hath indignation forever. So Esau is known as the border of wickedness. And we're coming into a point very soon where the children of wickedness is not going to afflict us any longer, because there will be no need for them to afflict us, because we're coming to the end of punishment. Okay? Ecclesiastes chapter 7 and verse 7. Surely oppression maketh a wise man mad, and a gift destroyeth the heart. So we're constantly being oppressed. We're constantly being used and abused. We're constantly being extorted. We're constantly being pimped by these different nations, and Esau being at the top. And then even among our own people like to devour each other because they taken after the nature of Esau, the wicked. Okay? We're out here telling our people the truth. We're in the proper spirit, the correct spirit, which is to complain against this wicked kingdom, to complain against the wicked being the so-called white man. But you have Israelites, they'll try to act as if them not complaining makes them better. Them not complaining somehow makes them mature, and somehow they figured it all out. Not knowing the Lord is the one who set Esau against us for affliction. So to speak so proudly, just know the Lord has something coming for you. Because you Israelites, you don't believe you're in punishment, the Lord is going to increase your punishment before ultimately giving you the kingdom later on. And he's going to afflict your punishment, or increase your punishment and afflict you even more by sending Esau, Edom, to come down upon you with great wrath. And you're not going to have his protection, because right now you're able to go to the grocery store, go to your job, go commit adultery or whatever you're doing in your life. But Esau, he's going to have opportunity to show you why he's known as the border of wickedness, why he's known as the wicked. Because you Israelites, you just don't want to see it for the majority of you. Surely oppression maketh a wise man mad. So clearly the majority of Israelites aren't wise. That's why they're not mad. They're not bothered. And us being mad doesn't mean we have to slam the door when we get home. It doesn't mean, we're Spartan kicking our wife because she burnt the food. Okay? Or when we go to our job, we're telling Edomites, you're going into slavery, move out the way. No. We have to bear our burden. But you better believe that deep down inside, we're mad. You don't know what brothers have to deal with mentally. Okay? We're constantly wrestling against our flesh, while the majority of people, they just give in to their flesh. And a gift destroyed the heart. So a lot of our people, they'll take a bribe and it destroys them. It causes them to forget that they're oppressed. Somebody will be angry, and guess what? A soft answer will turn away wrath. Well, a gift can also turn away wrath. A gift can also divert someone's attention from the reality of the situation. Okay? But the elect, we understand that this society is not right. But we have to bear that burden. All right? Let's go to John. This is the book of John, chapter 16, and verse 21. A woman, when she is in travail, had sorrow, because her hour is come. But as soon as she is delivered of the child, she remembereth no more the anguish for joy that a man is born into the world. So right now we're going through travail and anguish, waiting for a particular man to come into the world, being Yahweh Shai. We're waiting on Yahweh Shai, the deliverer. What happens when a baby's born? A baby is being delivered. Well, Yahweh Shai is going to come into the world like a baby being delivered, because he's the deliverer. And those he's going to deliver are those who are sighing and crying and complaining because they understand that things just ain't right here. That's why we come out here and we bring out this word in hopes to receive salvation, in hopes for the Lord to show favor and mercy upon our soul, because we deserve to be destroyed like everybody else. Okay? We understand that. But we have hope, we have faith, we have encouragement, we have things to look forward to. A woman, when she is in travail, has sorrow. And the Israelites, speaking to the Israelite man, the Lord compares us to a fine ass woman, a comely and delicate woman. A woman, when she is in travail, has sorrow, the elect sigh and cry, because her hour is come. But as soon as she is delivered of the child, she remembereth no more. So Yahweh Shai is coming for his bride. Yahweh Shai is coming to deliver. He's coming into the world, and all the pain and grief that we experience right now, it's going to be as if it never happened once he comes and gets us. The anguish for joy that a man is born into the world. And ye now, therefore, have sorrow. So we sigh and we cry right now, but I will see you again. So we're going to be united with Yahweh Shai again soon. And your heart shall rejoice, and your joy no man taketh from you. So can't no one take our joy from us. As much as we sigh and we cry, we have a joy that's given to us that's not from this world. And seeing that it's not from this world can't take it from us. Which means, look, you can laugh at us, you can not believe all day, you can give us sour looks, you can click up with your homies like the Power Rangers to try to come against one man, showing you that you're not on our level. Okay, you can do whatever you try to do to overthrow the elect of the Lord. If they're of the elect, you're basically fighting against an iron wall, because you can't win against the Lord. Verse 33. These things I have spoken unto you, that in me you might have peace. So we have peace in Yahweh Shai. That's how we're able to bear these burdens and these afflictions, as much as we sigh and we cry and we complain about all the wickedness that's happening. These things I have spoken unto you, that in me you might have peace. In the world you shall have tribulation, but be of good cheer. I have overcome the world. So as much as we have to go through our mourning, we still have joy in us to rejoice. We still have it in us to keep fighting, to be conquerors. We go through our moments where our heavy thoughts start to weigh down upon us, But we have to set those to the side, as it says here in 2nd Ezra, chapter 14 and verse 14. Let go from thee mortal thoughts. Cast away the burdens of man. Put off now the weak nature. So we have to cast off the burdens of man. We have to put off the weak nature, because the flesh indeed is weak. Our spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak. You know me, I work the night shift. Sometimes I'll come out here and not even go to sleep after work, or sometimes I'll go to sleep and then after waking up and getting situated, then I'll come out here. But either way it goes, it's a fight to get myself to come out here. But the weak nature will tell me, just relax, just chill, put it off till tomorrow, put it off for a few days. That's the flesh. But the spirit is like, no, you know, I have to get out here and do my job. There's work to be done. Okay? Let go from the mortal thoughts. A mortal thought will say, well, I'm not being rewarded right now. So what is it doing me right now to be burdened, to go out there and do the work? I got to work in the morning. I got to work tonight. Let go from the mortal thoughts. Cast away the burdens of man. Put off now the weak nature. So we have joy in Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai. And he gives us a joy that this world can't offer us. And set aside the thoughts that are most heavy unto thee, and haste thee to flee from these times. So we have to set aside heavy thoughts and really focus on what's about to come, because we're coming into some very serious times. And the Lord is going to show who he's with and who he's not with. Because right now people tend to question, okay, well, who's the Lord with? You ask everybody believes that God is with them. Everybody believes one way or another that Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai is just dealing with them. There's this new trend going on where people are talking about they're the chosen. You know, people are talking about they're the chosen and don't even believe in the scriptures. They're not even reading Bible scriptures. They don't know 3 verses to save their ass, and they're talking about they're chosen. Well, the Heavenly Father is the one who's choosing, and they are already chosen, and they've been predestined from the foundation of the earth. Okay? Let's go on. 1 Peter chapter 1. 1 Peter chapter 1 and verse 6. Wherein ye greatly rejoice, though now for a season, if need be, you are in heaviness through manifold temptations. So we go through various temptations, and it can put us in a heavy mind. You know, pondering on certain things, it weighs your mind down. A negative thought is like gravity, and it's easy to focus on negative thoughts because it takes less effort. It takes more effort to think on positive things. Just like it takes less effort to sit on your ass, it takes more effort to get up and want to get a little workout in. Well, we have to understand that, you know, the flesh, its job is to really weigh us down. And then pondering on things that aren't beneficial for us, those are just obstacles and hurdles that try to get in our way, that try to discourage us from receiving the reward. Okay? Let me turn my phone down. Wherein ye greatly rejoice. You get tired of working at your 9 to 5. You get tired of, you know, your local business. You know, it's cool one moment, then another moment is just questionable. You going through a rough time. You get tired of the inconsistencies. Okay, you're tired of your woman operating okay, then she malfunctions the next day. You get tired of false brethren. You get tired of, you know, the scoffers, the scorners. You get tired of your body hindering you. You get tired of negative thoughts creeping in. You know, you get tired of so much weighing down on you, but through Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, we're still able to reach within that inner person and find peace, because the world is in turmoil. These people will be driving around in nice cars, live in nice neighborhoods, and they're not at peace in their mind. Then they think buying things is somehow going to fill the void, fill that hole, because, something is missing and they can never really fill it. Well, we have Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. That void is actually filled for us, but we still have to wrestle the flesh. We have to wrestle negative thoughts and things that try to weigh us down, just like anybody else. And we're constantly being afflicted. And sometimes, even with what you go through, it could bring you to tears. Let's go to Ecclesiastes chapter 4 and verse 1. So I returned and considered all the oppressions that are done under the sun, and behold, the tears of such as were oppressed, and they had no comforter. And on the side of their oppressors there was power, but they had no comforter. So we have a lot of, history of lamenting, a lot of history of complaining, a lot of history of not being on top because of our iniquities. Now we're coming to a point where we're about to receive the reward. We're about to receive what was promised to us from the beginning. All of our tears, everything that we've gone through, things that we may have even forgotten, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai is going to remove all that pain from us. Okay? All that venomous negativity that's been within, that's been installed within our minds, that's been placed on us since birth. Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai is going to remove those burdens off of us. Brothers can, testify. You might not say it, but you have moments in this truth. You actually cry tears, man, as an adult male. Because a lot of men, they try to act like, real men don't cry, real men don't shed tears, real men don't show their emotions and their feelings. And that's some weak ass shit. Now, a man shouldn't be a crybaby, shouldn't be a weak punk ass man. But there's times, you just got to let it off, man. You got to let it off the chest. You got to get it out there. And the best time to do it is when you're talking to the Lord. Okay? And if you feel the need to do it around brothers, man, just fucking do it, man. Who gives a shit about what somebody thinks about you? Because men cry, women cry. The Lord gave us tears to cry. It's like a release. For a lot of you men tormenting yourselves because you think crying is weak, I don't know what the hell is wrong with you, man. All right? But, there are tears that we've cried that we've even forgotten. The Lord didn't forget, and he's gonna make it right for us. All right? So I returned and considered all the oppressions that are done under the sun, and behold, the tears of such as were oppressed. And that's the point. The tears of the oppressed, they're going to be taken care of, man. It might rain here shortly. I might have to close this up. Let's go to Revelations chapter 21 and verse 4. And the power shall wipe away all tears. So we've cried, we've mourned, we've complained, we've been through so much. Brothers have testimonies they can't even really broadcast in the open. We all go through what we go through. But at the end of the day, we're coming into a point in time where the Lord is going to remove all of our pain. He's going to remove all of our affliction, because what's coming is going to be far greater than our punishment. The reward is going to outweigh our punishment. And the power shall wipe away all tears from their eyes. Imagine being, just miserable, you crying, and then you look up, you got some fine, beautiful woman touching you on the shoulder, telling you it's going to be okay. You look at this woman all of a sudden, that pain that you was feeling, it doesn't hurt so bad as much. Well, how much more when Yahweh Shai gives us he gives us the world, he gives us everything. He gives us all of our heart's desires, man. And all the pain that we felt, all the things that we had to deal with on our own that people didn't even know about, things that people didn't understand, things that people thought we were crazy about. When all of these things get removed and the Lord just brings complete peace to our life, words can't put that in any detail, man. Words can't express that. It's going to have to be felt because we don't even know what real peace is. Now, we do have it in this ministry. We get a peace of mind being in this truth. But in all actuality, we don't even really know what peace feels like because this world is ran down with evil. It's ran down with negativity. And seeing that that's what's mainly in front of you, well, of course, that's what's easy to focus on. And the power shall wipe away all tears from their eyes, and there shall be no more death, neither sorrow, nor crying, neither shall there be any more pain, for the former things are passed away. So all the grief and heartache and sorrow that we go through now, that's a thing of the present. But it's going to be a thing of the past. We're going to be made immortals. We're not going to keep suffering this. Okay? We're not going to have to keep dealing with all this darkness that just surrounds us, man. This world is engulfed in darkness. And we're just lights in the midst of it. Let's go to Sirach chapter 38. Sirach, also known as the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 38 and 18. For of heaviness cometh death, and the heaviness of the heart breaketh strength. That's why you have to set aside heavy thoughts, because that's where deep depression comes in. You know, that can kill you. Being negative, being overly hard on yourself, it takes days away from your life, man. And fighting demons, a demon's job is to try to bring you into a heavy mind, to try to win you over, to try to discourage you. And demons can use not just people outside the circumcision. Demons will even use men who are in the circumcision to try to make you feel like you're nothing, to try to make you feel like your value is worthless, like you're wasting your time, like you're just a hamster on a treadmill and you're running, but you're not getting anywhere. You know, you have to set aside those heavy thoughts because, again, you know, setting aside those heavy thoughts, that's how you remain confident. That's how you remain encouraged, because it's easier to focus on the negative. It actually takes effort to be positive. Just like it takes effort to get off your ass and exercise, it actually takes effort to focus on the positive things. But to think about negative things, things that weigh you down, is easy. Just like it's easy to go down than it is to climb up. But we have to try to focus on the positive, man, which is the kingdom of heaven, the joy that Yahweh Shai brings us, because the heaviness can kill you. For of heaviness cometh death. Now, my grandmother on my dad's side, she actually died from stress. And she was only in her 60s, I believe. She died a fairly young woman. And she got tired of hearing about all of her grandbabies, you know, caught up in the street life. She got tired of hearing about her grandbabies going to prison. She was just fed up. And it actually killed her. She died from stress. For of heaviness cometh death, and the heaviness of the heart breaketh strength. So we have to keep our strength by setting aside those heavy thoughts and keeping our sight, our focus on Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. Let's go back to Revelation 21. We're going to go down to 7. He that overcometh shall inherit all things, I will be his power, and he shall be my son. So we sigh and we cry continually, but we have to endure. And then once we endure, we're going to inherit all things except for America, all things except for another man's things. Okay? Among our own, we're going to be in complete unity, but we're going to have everything under our subjection and righteousness. Okay? And that's why you should want freedom. That's why you should want Yahweh Shai to return. Isaiah 51:14. The captive exile hasteneth that he may be loosed, and that he should not die in the pit, nor that his bread should fail. So we're the captives that have been exiled, and we're seeking to be loosed. We're seeking to go home. We don't want to be here no more. We're ready to go back to the land that's promised to us, because ever since we've been like this wandering horde. Speaking to the Israelite man, we've been like this wandering horde with no place to live, being shunned by all of our lovers. And then at the same time, having a man that's like in the spirit of forgiveness. Like at any given time, you can turn back to me. You keep turning your back on me and I keep forgiving you. When typically, according to the law, you're supposed to be put to death for adultery. Well, Israel is like an adulterous whore, two adulterous whores. The southern and the northern kingdom is like two wives of the Heavenly Father. Okay? And the Heavenly Father has two wives that have played the harlot against him. And now we have to bear the shame, we have to bear the guilt. But coming into this ministry, you're still able to have hope and know that your sins are forgiven. So be that. You serve the true power of heaven and earth. You turn from your wicked ways. You make some lifestyle changes. And the Lord will show you that he's with you, although those evil thoughts, those heavy thoughts are going to always be there. They never fully leave, but you still have to set them to the side. You have to be like, nope, not right now. But it's still going to try to make its way back. And you got to pick it up again and be like, nope, not right now. Okay? And that's hard to do. But that's a part of the battle. Satan wants to use whatever he can use to make us insecure, to break us down, to make us feel useless, to make us feel like our life isn't getting nowhere, to make us feel like every day is the same, to make us feel like we're going crazy. You know, the battle is serious, man. The captive exile hasteneth that he may be loosed, and that he should not die in the pit. We don't want to die here in America, nor that his bread should fail. And Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai hasn't had us lacking. Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai doesn't have us living out of a trash can or eating out of a trash can. Okay? But as much as the Lord takes care of us, we're still in captivity, but we're at the end of our captivity. Okay? And seeing that we're at the end of our captivity, hearing these words should cheer you up even more. Proverbs chapter 12:24. The hand of the diligent shall bear rule, but the slothful shall be under tribute. So we can't be slothful. Okay? Heaviness in the heart of man maketh it to stoop, and that's where you become weak. Dwelling upon heavy thoughts. Just like anything heavy, what's it gonna do? It's gonna weigh you down. If you put on some body weights and then you pick up some dumbbells that are like 75 pounds each, you're gonna feel your body weigh down on you. Okay? Well, dwelling on negative thoughts, it's weighing down on you. That's how a lot of men end up falling out, is they dwell on the negatives. Oh, I could have been doing this, I could have been doing that. Ever since I've come into this truth, my life hasn't been going how I want it to go. And it's like, look, a lot of you men are being afflicted Like, yeah, you're in the ministry, but you're not really doing what the Lord is asking you. So as much as the Lord chastens us and we go through afflictions, he's also going to take care of you if you're doing what he's telling you to do. But some of you men, it's like all you do is get your ass whooped. It's like, what are you doing, man? What are you doing wrong? Because yeah, we go through heaviness, we go through various things, but the Lord's only whooping you. The Lord is only bringing you hell and affliction. Then that says something about you. Okay? The heaviness comes and goes, but certain men, they talk like the heaviness is all you deal with. The heaviness is all you bear. Okay, and that's a real messed up spirit to be in. Heaviness in the heart maketh it stoop. So to make it stoop, that's weighing it down. But a good word maketh it glad. So the words of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai should make you glad. You should be in the spirit of rejoicing. You should be in the spirit of being encouraged by these words, as much as we catch hell. Let's go to Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 1. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 1 and verse 12. Seek not death in the error of your life. So you might be going through something and now you just want to die. Not only do you want to die, you want to do it to yourself. You want to go hang yourself like Judas. You want to go home, open up the drawer, and put that barrel in your mouth. Okay? Or you want to go to the top of this building and just jump off the damn building and just end it. You want to hop in your car, go to the highway, go as fast as you can until you lose control. Don't seek death in the era of your life, man. We have to be in the spirit of fighting, and we have to set aside those heavy thoughts. And those heavy thoughts, man, they can be real heavy sometimes because there are some heavy demons out there. You can be feeling like you're on top of the world one moment, and then the next moment, it's like you just get body slammed and you just feel horrible. You feel like nothing. Okay? Then that feeling leaves. Then you're kind of back to feeling okay, but you're not as charged up as what you was. Then you're charged up again. You know, it's an ongoing battle because this flesh is weak. Okay? But what we have to understand is through all these various temptations and heaviness, you know, these heavy thoughts that come to us, we shouldn't seek suicide. We shouldn't want to, you know, we shouldn't want to see our end. But when you're going through heaviness, when you're going through depression, when you feel empty, it's like there's nothing that anyone can say to you that will help you. And we want to do our best to not get there, because you can get so low that it's almost like there is nothing that anyone can say or do to uplift you. You're just in this dead state. And it's not because you aren't trying, you know, it's because there are heavy demons fighting against you, putting you in a trance. Okay? But this word should keep us in the spirit of enduring. Seek not death in the era of your life. Seek not death in the era of your life, and pull not upon yourself destruction with the works of your own hands. So you shouldn't seek to commit suicide because things aren't going out. It's a tough time for you, which is easy to do, man. You know, who wants to catch hell? And then when you catch hell, you start to ponder on all these other things that haven't worked out for you. And then it's a collective of things weighing down on you at one time. And instead of trying to help the situation, it's a lot easier to just add more weight to your grief, because that's the easy thing to do. But we have to fight. We have to remain hopeful. We have to remain encouraged, man. And know that we're not doing this for no reason. Let's go to Revelations chapter 2. In verse 9, I know thy works in tribulation and poverty, but thou art rich. And I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan. So the Lord knows our trials and tribulation. The Lord knows, our situation. The Lord knows what we deal with in our body and our mind, what we deal with in our day-to-day life. All of these things the Lord knows. But we have to do our best to set these things aside and focus on the Lord. Because through the Lord, that's how we receive comfort, man. And knowing that no matter how bad the feeling is, the feeling does wear off. Okay? I'll probably close it. This is the book of Sirach, also known as the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 11 and verse 14. Prosperity and adversity, life and death, poverty and riches come of the Lord. So everything comes from Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. So be that we keep our focus on him. Why wouldn't he give us our heart's desires? Why wouldn't he keep us afloat? Why wouldn't he keep us going? Seeing that he's the cause of everything. Okay, he's the one that can cause somebody to fall into deep depression. He's the one that can cause someone to feel like a champion. He's the one that can cause someone to be poor, cause someone to be rich. So the important thing is knowing that as much as we sigh and cry, we complain, we go through so much being oppressed in this society, our joy comes from Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. That's how we're able to sustain and maintain our mental health. We're not all bugged out here. Okay? Because the Lord is our power. Let's jump down to 17. The gift of the Lord remaineth with the godly, and his favor bringeth prosperity forever. So there's nothing wrong with prospering. People act like prospering is a bad thing. But Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai is bringing us prosperity. Okay? Just like I'm able to come out here more now, the Lord allowed me to get a new vehicle. And I told the Lord if I could get a new vehicle, I'm going to try to go out more. Well, that's what I've been doing. The Lord gave me a new vehicle. The Lord's been helping my situation. And it's came through what? Doing my best to be obedient unto him. So as much as the heaviness comes, the blessings also come with it. Okay, but we're not going to receive all of our blessings until we get out of here, because we're still under the curses. The gift of the Lord remaineth with the godly, and his favor bringeth prosperity forever, and he favors his elect. There is that waxeth rich by his wariness and pinching, and this is the portion of his reward. Whereas he saith, I have found rest, and now will eat continually of my goods. And yet he knoweth not what time shall come upon him, and that he must leave those things to others and die. But what we're coming into, we're going to receive everything, and we don't ever have to die. We don't never have to worry about leaving it to others. Okay? Marvel not at the works of sinners. So don't be in heaviness because you see your favorite celebrity in this big ass house. Don't marvel because one of your old enemies in the world just drove by you in a 2024 and he looked at you like you're nothing. Or you live in an apartment, but you never saw yourself living in an apartment. Or you might live in a house, but for some reason you're looking at this big ass house, over here, and now your desire for this house has caused you to fall into heaviness, trying to keep up with the Joneses. Okay? We have to learn how to be content while understanding the Lord can easily give us rewards too. Marvel not at the works of sinners, just like Rich Homie Quan just died. Okay? All these rappers is dropping dead. They got access to all these women. They got access to traveling. They got access to multiple things. And the Lord still ends up killing them still ends up putting them in deep depression, still ends up making them feel alone, because ultimately, if you don't have Yahweh and Yahweh Shai, you are alone. But trust in the Lord and abide in thy labor. And that's what we have to do. We have to abide in our labor. For it is an easy thing in the sight of the Lord, on the sudden, to make a poor man rich. So if the Lord wanted us to be rich, he would just make us rich. That's why, I'm not out here trying to chase riches. I'm not out here trying to force anything. Okay, the Lord is who's been upholding me. The Lord naturally is going to uphold his, man. So be that you do what he asks to the best of your ability. All right? The blessing of the Lord is in the reward of the godly, and suddenly he maketh his blessing flourish. So ponder on that. Okay, as much as you might go through the heaviness from time to time, does the Lord not bless us too? Does the Lord not do things for us too? And if you say, well, not really, well, maybe it's you. Maybe you still have leaven that the Lord is looking at, and it's not justifiable, man. The Lord's looking at you like, how is it that you still are judgmental over your own brother and you're doing the same thing? Or how is it that you claim to be a man of the Most High, but you still have an adultery demon on you? You claim to be a man of the Most High, but you have an envy demon on you. Okay? And then you wonder why you keep going through this heaviness. You keep going through all this negativity so much. It's like you never have anything positive to say. Well, a lot of that comes from a lack of disobedience. Or a lack of obedience, which is disobedience. All right? So we sigh, we cry, we complain continually, and ultimately the Lord's doing it to us, and we're coming to the end of our captivity. And even within our captivity, the Lord still upholds us and does things for us, man. So Lord willing, this lesson, it was simple and edifying. Didn't really know where I was going with it, but the Lord always feeds me something, and I'm thankful for that. So I'm going to give all praises unto our power, the power of Israel, not the power of any other nation, seeing that I don't come in my own name. And what is his name? Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Wa'Rakakwadash. Until next time, Lord willing, Shalom.